Welcome back to the IBFP. Here's your host, Foxy New.
Welcome back, fight fans. Welcome back. Canelo Alvarez is vulnerable to the body. Look, let's just break it down and debunk this narrative. And look, we start with Rozier, Sergey Deverenchenko's trainer. And he comes out and states that, Canelo Alvarez is vulnerable to the body. And that's the part of Deverenchenko's game that he's good at. In his last fight against Triple G, Deverenchenko hurt him all night long with body shots. And it was impressive. So basically what they're saying is that, hey, because he hurt, Gennady Golovkin with body shots all night long, he's going to be able to implement that same plan against Canelo Alvarez because Canelo Alvarez is vulnerable to the body. And Rozier is a very good trainer, talented trainer. I respect Rozier, and Sergey Deverenchenko is a very dangerous and good fighter. I would never disrespect either one of these guys' qualities or attributes. But there's a very big difference between Canelo Alvarez and Triple G's skill sets and which guy will allow body shots and which guy will not. Let's just break it down. When you look at Triple G, you're absolutely right. Sergey Deverenchenko did hurt him all night long to the body. There was even points in the fight where it looked like he may have been able to almost stop Triple G. Even according to CompuBox, Sergey Deverenchenko landed more punches on Gennady Golovkin than any of the 25 fights that CompuBox has tracked throughout his career. So that's saying a lot about Sergey Deverenchenko. Most people feel like Sergey Deverenchenko beat Triple G that night. And, so you give him all the credit in the world for that. But you also got to look at it. To land body shots on an opponent, there's two things that you have to overcome to be able to land those body shots. And the first thing you have to be able to overcome is a boxer's movement. And the interesting thing about it is Canelo Alvarez's movement and quicker hands made going to the body difficult for guys like Triple G. So how can these guys go to the body on Canelo Alvarez when his hand movement and his foot movement is quicker and causing these guys all kinds of problems? He's not going to sit there and let you attack him. He's not going to sit there and let you hit him. It makes no sense. You even see Abel Sanchez come out and says Golovkin didn't go to the body because Canelo Alvarez was running too much. Now, that's obviously an excuse because when they say running, that equates to boxing. And so basically what he's saying is that Gennady Golovkin was being outboxed. Canelo didn't stand in the same place and let him tee off on him like he did all his other opponents. That's why Gennady Golovkin didn't look the same as a destructive monster against Canelo as he did many other fights. You have to be honest and unbiased about that. At the end of the day, Canelo Alvarez body movement, foot movement was causing Gennady Golovkin's hell, and that's why he was unable to go to his body and work his body. The second reason why, he wasn't able to work Canelo Alvarez's body was counterpunching. Canelo Alvarez is an elite level counterpuncher. He always looks to counterpunch, and that will hurt and stop a lot of people from being able to come in and go to Canelo's body. That would be the same problem with Sergey Deverenchenko if he tried to go to Canelo Alvarez's body. Canelo Alvarez's body movement and counterpunching will cause major problems and damage for a guy like Sergey Deverenchenko. Deverenchenko's a good fighter, but he gets hit too much. He's going to be easy to counterpunch for a guy of Canelo Alvarez's caliber. This is an elite fighter, and so we have to be honest about that. And then you think that Sergey Deverenchenko is the first fighter, and Rozier is the first trainer to target Canelo Alvarez's body? No, even a great trainer like Buddy McGirt and a former champion in Sergey Kovalev tried to target Canelo Alvarez's body. They stated that they would punish Canelo Alvarez to the body. That was their game plan. And did they punish Canelo Alvarez to the body? Absolutely not. He landed 10% of his body shots the entire fight. 10%. Because one, you have to deal with movement. Two, you have to deal with constant counterpunching. And Canelo Alvarez hits very hard. And that was pretty much exemplified by a left hook and a straight right combination that knocked out Sergey Kovalev. So that proves that his counterpunching is vicious, is hard, his chin is good, his movement is great. And Canelo Alvarez is an elite level counterpuncher. Here's the problem with people and saying things like, Canelo's vulnerable to the body. How can you be vulnerable to something if a guy can't get to the body? One, you have to be talented and skilled enough to stop his movement. Two, even if you stop his movement, how are you going to overcome the counterpunching, constantly putting yourself in danger? You know, that's a problem with a lot of people, is they don't realize that even if you're a good boxer, if you can't take those shots of being countered and counterpunching, then you can't go to his body. So how can you be vulnerable in something that you can't get to? Let's just be honest and unbiased. Once again, it's the IBFP.